Warm greetings from the high 10. It's Everyday Shenanigans, and thanks for joining me. Um, Usually, when it comes to dirty business nonsense pertaining to little girl loss, I will call Miss Wells this because I don't like putting her name in the title in conjunction with anything that's of gossip nature and buffoonery, but I don't discuss every little thing that transpires pertaining to what people have to say pertaining to June 15th or Candace, Don, other participants. But I was out today taking care of business, and I decided to listen to commentary in the car instead of listening to music, because usually I listen to music when I'm in my car. I don't listen to YouTube all the time in my car. Only something strikes my fancy and I want to listen to it while I drive. So I was watching Dolly Vision briefly, listening to him. I also listened to his interview with a certain person later in the day when I got home. And I also was looking at his comment section about something that was disgusting in a title. So I went over to that said person's network to find the information and listen to the rantings of Boy H's bio donors, male and female. I'm going to say this. Everybody has a different persona than what people see in public. How you act at work, church, public functions perhaps may not be your persona when you're at home. And we all have fallen short. Let me make that clear before I get crunk. We all have fallen short as far as our tongue, our demeanor in public, at home. The things we do in public may not be things we do at home. Things we do at home, we may not do in public, vice versa. But then you have some people who are just probably just fraudulent. They are different people because their ass is just sick, okay? What I'm discussing in this live is pertaining to the bio donors conversation on a live. First of all, let me say this. You people are alleged parents of children, whether they're 16, 17, 2, 3, it's all the same. Your children can hear, they can get wind of information. Why are you people going live is what I'd like to know. Why are you people still going live talking about absolutely nothing that's of relevance to the disappearance of the said child? You're just ranting and raving and talking about nothing. You act as if you don't have children in your custody at this moment that can listen and hear the things that you're saying while you're going live. And we know that they can hear you because you're telling the children to get out of the way, get on somewhere. I don't understand the mentality. But see, this is what I've been trying to tell people who have been following this content, is that these are street people. The people who gave birth to the child and children are street people. The people they fraternize with are obviously street people. And that's what you're getting right now playing out on YouTube, is the rendering of street people. And when you all can come to grips with the fact that the Wells are street people, they have always been street people, then it's not going to shock you that anybody that they fraternize with has the same mindset, the same disposition, the same tongue. I can accept it. Some of you can't, obviously. I'm not shocked about anything that these people do or say, or the people in conjunction with them. But like I said, this is dirty business pertaining to the little girl. This is a two-part title. The dirty business is that live that was uploaded. That was, yes, was very disgusting commentary coming out of a grown man's mouth. It would be just as disgusting coming out of the mouth of a woman. And I'm going to discuss all of that in my commentary as I'm doing right now. It's disgusting. It is disgusting because everybody does not need to know what your preferences are as far as what you like, don't like, the jokes you want to spin pertaining to oral sex, this and that. Why? Obviously, your children can hear you. So you want your children to hear you as a bisexual man talking about fellatio with another human being and making jokes of said things. And then you have the nerve to talk about your son, Boy H. He doesn't need to be in your custody. Nor Allie's either. I think all these people are very ill. There's something wrong with them. There's something wrong with all of them. The second part of my title is, what did Boy H witness on June 15th? I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining me. What did Boy H see on June 15th? Was Summer alive when he was dropped off to his home by Candace Blythe Wells. Was he told to lie? By Candace. Pertaining to what he saw, witnessed, did he aid in any form or fashion with the said child to cover up any type of misdeed done by the mother or an accident? Did he suspect that Summer was ill or deceased in the vehicle before he got out of the car? Did he tell his mother, Allie, of any suspicions or what actually happened that was not repeated to the general public and on Chris Madonna's program? Is Allie covering for Boy H? Did Boy H tell L.E. everything? Now, Boy H's bio donor male had said in a live with Allie that Boy H was cleared, and basically she was saying she hadn't heard that. So is it true that Boy H was cleared of any wrongdoing or involvement in this case pertaining to a little girl loss? Or is the father just saying that because he wants people to lay off his son because of all the rumors and rhetorics and people blaming him as well as having something to do with the child's disappearance and or being deceased? Did Boy H and Candace engage inappropriately on June 15th? Did they engage inappropriately in the past? Did Boy H lie about any engagement between the two to Chris Madonna? Did he lie? Why was Candace Blythe not cited for giving Boy H alcohol on June 15th? My opinion is that none of these children in the custody of the Wells or Allie and Mr. Andrew, there should be no children in either party's custody. Like minds attract, and that is what you're seeing play out right now on YouTube. Where are Allie's other children? How many children does she have? Why are you people on YouTube? I'm curious. Do you not care for your children and the image that you are portraying on YouTube at the current moment? How are you going to get H back, Allie, with what you're talking about on YouTube? How would you get him back in your custody? Because naturally somebody will play this information for the Department of Human Services. Could it possibly harm you to get your other children removed if you have other children in your custody, as well as Mr. Andrew? Same thing. Boy H does not need to be visiting you. Your mouth is disgusting, and you're not somebody that needs to be rearing children or rearing somebody that's fragile. No child under 18 should be in either party's custody, and that's my personal opinion. I'm curious about Allie. The time you spent at Candace's house, why were you there? Did you not have your own place? It has been said that you lived with your grandmother. I do not know if that is the truth or not, but you were there on that porch when Mr. Madonna was doing the interview last year. Is that your grandmother's home? If so, why do you not have your own place? Why didn't you have a place at the time when you were visiting Candace? Why didn't you have a running car? Do you have a place in your own name with your name on the deed, Allie Mulani? That's what I'd like to know. And if you do not have your own home and own car, why not? It's been said in the commentary that I watched on Dolly Vision today that you work at Walmart in Kingsport. So what I have to ask myself is, a woman who has children, why would you not have a car, and why would you not have a apartment home in your own name? Why not? The excuses that the bio donor of Boy H male made as far as somebody getting a file on his criminal record and not opening the file, that he was, I guess, vile or did something in front of children. I guess it was endangering children, one of the charges. My thing is that was your choice. Whatever you did, said in view of the children, that is your choice. If you curse somebody, hit somebody, whatever you did, that's your choice. And we know that you have a temper because you curse every 5 seconds during your commentary on your lives. So the few lives that I've witnessed and listened to via other people's networks, because I'm not, I don't venture to your channel, your mouth is nasty. So therefore, that's how you talk every day. That's how you talk every day. And I'm just trying to understand why you think it's okay to talk like that in front of children and have access to children, because children are fragile. They're eager to learn. They pick up things very easily. So you talking like that, cussing, fussing, yo, MF this, suck this, that, you think a child won't be saying that to somebody and possibly saying it, don't even know what it means. But you don't care. That's obvious. It's obvious you don't care. But as I said, it's your choice to behave this way. But you tried to, you basically downplayed whatever endangerment charges you had. But of course you would. I think you should get clipped personally. What woman would lie with a bisexual man who talks like this and talks about having oral sex with other men and making jokes about oral sex with other men? And as I said, also children. I'm assuming this woman has children with Mr. Andrew. Ma'am, what is your problem? I know there's a male shortage, but I believe you're a Caucasian woman, perhaps. Maybe not. I don't think you're black. So I'm going to say you probably have more choices as far as a white man or a Hispanic man in the United States. So why you choose this person? Why would you date him? And why would you even lay down and make children with a man that likes men? Or did you meet him and he didn't tell you he was bisexual? Which is it? Okay. These people were around the Wells children for some period of time. And naturally, the children will pick up certain conversations by adults, especially dirty talk. And God knows what else the Wells children have witnessed and seen by outside parties, not including the behavior and mouth of their own bio donors. And this is disturbing to me because I'm listening to this heathen talk on a live, very disgusting with Allie. And what I have to say to myself, this person was in the company very briefly with the Wells children. Who would want this person around their kids? And I doubt that he turned it down when he was in the company of Candace Bly. I doubt it. What you get right now on YouTube is what he would have given a year or so ago or more when he was in the company of the Wells. Was Boy H set up to be a witness to see Summer that day by Candace? And I do believe this event took place on June 15th, because by now law officials, I would hope, would tell us that it was not June 15th. If they have any type of information that this event of the child disappearing took place on the 14th, 13th, the 12th, whichsoever. Because many of you believe that it did not take place on the 15th. But as I said, I would hope by now law officials would have told us a long time ago that the event was not on the 15th. Does Candace Bly regret picking up Boy H? Why did Candace say to the child, Boy H, that Don had the boys at the job? But we later find out that when Don went home on that fateful day, June 15, 2021, the boys were already outside of a home. So why did she lie to Boy H? And I don't think Boy H would lie and make that up because he would have no reason to make up a story like that. Nor would he have a reason to make up the fact that Don called her saying that somebody was on the property messing with the boys. Who was that person? And how would Don know that somebody was on the property on that day messing with the boys if indeed he was at work? So that leaves only one or two options. Don never went to work and was at home at the time that he called Candace, or two, the boys called Don to say, hey, there's somebody up here. Is this statement true? And what is the relevance of this to the disappearance of Summer Wells? My comment, Dee Dee, is, Lord, pertaining to Boy H and Candace. The question is, does she regret picking him up? Maybe you missed what I'm saying. Once again, What is the truth about somebody being on the property June 15th near the boys? Was that an actual statement by Don? Why would he make that statement if he was at work? Did the boys call him to say somebody was up there? Or is this just a part of the ruse to get rid of Summer? He knew she had eyewitnesses in the car, perhaps, but then she tells him to shush. So then that's contradictory of he would know that she had somebody in the car. What is the truth? Was Don at home with the boys or not? Or did the boys call him to say somebody was there? And why did Candace lie to say that the boys were gone with the father? Perhaps Candace lied because she didn't want him to think she had left her children unattended. Okay? She didn't want him to know she left the boys. But then I'm to believe, in my right mind, she's done this on more than one occasion. I'm going to say that as well. I do believe she's left her children unattended often to go do God knows whatever. So I don't think it would be any shock that Boy H knew the boys were left alone. Once again, did the boys call the father about a man or person being up there on the property bothering them? And if Don is lying about this statement, does this mean he's also involved in the disappearance of Summer Wells? These were my said questions pertaining to this live between Allie and Andrew. God knows what these children have seen, the Wells children, while being in the custody of their parents. No telling what persons have come around them, getting in cars with them, coming to the house, spending the night. And these people talking on a live is evident of why these children could be easily tainted, because their parents didn't have any regard for their safety or the type of people putting different people in their peripheral. They didn't care about who they were around, so naturally they wouldn't care about their children, who their children were hearing conversations. None of these people need children. I don't care who likes whom. They're all the same to me. They're all vile. They're nasty. Talking about money and cash apps and gifts and things on the live in the same breath of talking about the little girl. It's sad. Because my thing is, if Summer Wells hadn't have gone missing, you wouldn't be on YouTube right now. How about that? If Summer Wells was still around, visible, in the holler with the Wells, none of these people would be on YouTube. None of these people would have had a voice on YouTube, and none of these creators would have gone to them looking for them to speak or talk. Did that ever occur to any of you? Obviously, it wasn't. This is sad to me. It's disgusting and it's vile that these people have access to children, that they even have breath in them. Me as a woman, I'm not going to sit up on a live platform and talk about my sexual preferences to anybody. It's because it's none of your business. I'm not going to talk about what I want to do, don't want to do. And a man shouldn't be talking like that on a live. Facebook posts, TikTok, it's all the same to me. Why do it? It's disgusting. And you are somebody's parent. That's what's even worse. If you were a single person, you wanted to be filthy mouth, go live, I would still think the same of you. But you have access to children. And your children are in the peripheral of this venom you're spewing off your tongue so they can hear what my mommy and daddy likes to do. And who the hell wants to hear a bisexual man talk about what he wants to do with another man or what he'll do to another man? Are you serious? And that woman needs her head checked. I'm sorry. There's no way in hell I'm getting ready to willingly go lay up with a bisexual man. That's out. You did something I don't know about, then I don't have any knowledge. But to willingly choose you as my mate, make children with you, and listen that you talk like that, that tells me you would do anything. You would do anything. And then he's mentioned before money in the same conversation with oral copulation. So that tells me everything I need to know right there. Honey, you need to stay off social media, honey. Do us all a favor and stay off of social media. That's my commentary pertaining to tonight's live. It's a dirty business pertaining to little girl loss. And what did Boy H witness on June 15th? Or did he not witness anything? Is it a matter that he's just traumatized at the fact that he was the last person in her peripheral, and then he later finds out that she went missing? So he's hurt. He's disturbed. Could it be that nothing happened that he saw? Maybe he saw nothing. Maybe he wasn't a party to anything. Maybe he wasn't aided into anything. He didn't do anything. He's just upset because a little girl that he liked, knew of, played with her, knew her brothers, now knows she's gone. And he rehashes that in his mind over and over. I last saw this child. I was with this child. She seemed fine when I saw her. Now her mom is telling us she's gone. Somebody has allegedly taken her. Maybe that is what is going on with Boy H. He's just disturbed that he was in the peripheral of a now missing child. And when I was listening to that commentary today on Dolly Vision, my thing is nobody knows what happened except for the people who were there, which would be Candace, Boy H, the missing child, and Grandis. So I don't point fingers at a child until I get information that he aided in any form in felonious behavior with the child. I will not say he was involved because I don't work like that. Bring me a receipt that he did something to her or aided in some way or had knowledge that the child was not alive, not breathing, covered it up, whatsoever. In the end, the mother is responsible for her child. If something was wrong with her child on that day, it was her responsibility to call 911 or take her child to an emergency room. Not Boy H, not Allie. It was Candace's responsibility. That's her child. And I'm not going to put the blame on a 15-year-old who I don't know what happened because I wasn't there to say who did what, who said what. But in the end, that would be traumatizing for anybody to be in the company of somebody and later, hours later, they're reported missing. Doesn't mean that they were involved. It's just that, hey, I was just with this person. Now somebody's saying that they're missing. That would be traumatizing for, I think, a lot of people who care, people who have empathy. Now, you don't have any empathy, it wouldn't bother you. You wouldn't be shook up. You would press forward, keep it moving. That's the sad information coming out of the holler. Thank you all for joining me. If you'd like to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. The link is at the top of the page if you'd like to join me pertaining to the information that's spewing right now, pertaining to that disgusting conversation. All these people have had access to the Wells children. And exactly what did Boy H see, or did he not see anything? Is it just he's traumatized because he liked the little girl? And possibly Candace showing up 2 days later to try to intimidate him led him to believe the mother did something to her child, because Boy H is pretty swift for his age. He should be approaching 16 this year. So therefore, he knows when something isn't right. And you visiting him days later, asking him, what did he tell law officials? I think bells went off in his head. Okay, this woman must have done something to her child, because why is she now at my house worried about what I told law officials? If she has nothing to hide, she wouldn't be here. She wouldn't be concerned. And she knew what she did was wrong on that day. Whatever she did, feeding a child alcohol, picking the child up to be a witness to see the child. I do believe it was a setup to pick him up so he could be a witness to see the child alive. The more witnesses, the merrier. But in the end, if he got dropped off, he can't speak of what happened when he got dropped off. So indeed, if the child was alive at the time they dropped off Boy H can't tell you what happened after he got out of the car. Thank you for joining me. Hope you all had a wonderful Easter. All I can say is a lot of people just don't have any business procreating. That's my personal opinion. Anybody can have a kid. This doesn't mean anything. I'm putting the link back in. For those of you who missed it, it was at the top of the page with the welcome. Thank you, new subs. Visitors and regular chat members. Thank you so much. Hello, everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining me. Got 101 viewing, 26 minutes into this live. If you're just now coming in, you're 26 minutes into the live. Thank you very much. This is just a comprehensive dive into commentary from some other networks. And what did Boy H see on June 15th? Is he a witness to a crime or not? Is he a participant? That is what I'm asking this evening. I got this information in my head from watching Dolly Vision earlier when he had a certain person on there talking about Allie and his relationship and possibly Allie covering up something for him. I don't know because I don't know these people. But like I said, I don't blame children because in the end, it wasn't his responsibility to be taking care of a child anyway. And if indeed the parking lot is so many feet from the swimming hole and they were nowhere near the bank where it goes into the water, that's too far for anybody to be allegedly watching a child. Because allegedly the woman said on Dollar Vision that she counted the paces, 30 seconds from the parking lot to the water. Well, that's too far to be away from a child playing in the water. Whether it was closer to the bank, still too far. And the water is nasty because I've seen it in the videos, branches sticking up out of the water, which is dangerous. Why would I want to be swimming, wading in something with branches sticking up out of? Then it's dirt coming up out of the water. That's dirt. It's not sand. So it's nasty. It's not a place to swim. And many people have said that are familiar with that area and live in the general area. They wouldn't go swim there. There are other decent places to go swimming in the Kingsport area. Hello, everybody in the chat. You have something you'd like to say pertaining to the title of this video, the dirty business pertaining to little girl lost, the entities that have emerged out of the dust to be seen and heard of her name, and what did Boy H witness on June 15th? That's the title of this live. Thank you for joining me. Yes, Marilyn, it was all right. Could have been better, but it's all right. Sundown Farms, what are you saying? Way too far. Oh, from the parking lot? Yes. Because why would you be near the parking lot if your child was in the water playing? You would be near the bank where the water is. You don't take your kids swimming to the swimming pool and sit in the car or hang out in the car in the parking lot while your child is hundreds of feet away from you in a swimming pool. Why would you do that? You pay for your kids to go swimming, walk them in, watch them get in the swimming pool, then walk back out and go hang in the parking lot. Now, what fool would do that? But we know some fools would do because some fools have done it. Take their kids places, parking, playgrounds, and be hundreds of feet away from where the child is playing. You're nowhere near in case the child falls, gets hurt, gets abducted. Anything can happen. That's why you're supposed to stand feet away from your children and watch your children play. You can't go wandering off far away, talking to people, engaging in other activities while your children are playing. Hello, everybody in the chat. Hit the link if you have something you'd like to say of relevance to the title of this video. Thank you. Did Boy H witness a crime on June 15th, or he's just distraught that he last saw a missing child? Could it be nothing? He's just upset that he was there. Maybe everything was okay when he last saw Summer. Maybe not. I don't know, because I wasn't there. If you need to go back to the beginning of this video, please do so. That's where I give all my questions pertaining to what I've witnessed today on YouTube as far as conversations with Boy H's father and his mother. They're bio donors. And how I feel about Boy H. I do not believe in involving children in things that I don't have proof to. I always say bring a receipt. And that's the whole point of this story. Nobody has a receipt to anything. Just innuendos. Jacked up situation. Very jacked up. None of these people should be on social media. I know that. Feel free to drop the link throughout the live. Thank you. Brittany says you don't think he saw anything. All right. Well, that's the whole point of this. What was the point of him calling Candace to say a man was up there? And what was the point of her lying to H, saying the children were with Don? Very conflicting information, because Don has spoken before saying when he pulled up on the 15th, the children were outside. So that means Candace lied about the boys being gone with him to work. And the only way Don would know that somebody was on the mount with the children is if he was there or the boys called him. So I'm wondering, what is the relevance also to those statements? Possibly lies. And that means if Don was there, then he's a party to whatever happened to the child. If the child was indeed alive when she made it back to 110 Bend Circle Way. We will see. 10 months in, nothing. It's very sad. But as I said, the behaviors of the bio donors of Boy H, they don't need kids. They don't need children, because they don't have common decency about themselves, the way they talk and carry themselves. They don't have their lives together. And these children are damn near grown. Boy H is almost grown. And sadly, he won't have the tools to go out in the world and navigate properly, because he hasn't been taught anything. I'm listening to how his father talks. It's disgusting. Who would want that for a parent? I wouldn't want that as my parent. I wouldn't want that for my parent. I don't give a damn about your sexual preferences, but I don't want you. I'm just keeping it real. I would be ashamed to know that my parents were talking like that on a live, talking like that, period. If I walked in and heard you talking like that and you weren't on a live, I'd be ashamed. It's disgusting. If you have any commentary pertaining to the subject matter of this live, please feel free to hit the link. Join the discussion. Well, the parents have just put out what they wanted people to assume what happened. There's a difference. Assuming one thing and what actually happened. It's two different things. Because I tell you something doesn't mean that it's true. It's factual. I tell you what I want you to know. See, there's a difference. What happened and what I tell you is two different things. I'm not going to actually tell you what happened because then I probably go to jail. So I'm going to tell you what I think you should know. And that's what has happened in this storyline pertaining to the disappearance of the said child. Evil web spun. And then the web grew tentacles, latched on to other individuals to bring forth said commentary. He said, she said, and on. It just goes on and on and on. It doesn't stop. 10 months in, it's disgusting. The whole situation is just vile. Hello, CR dear. Thank you so much. Thank you for the donation. Hello, Miss Marie. How are you, dear? All right, you guys, hit the link. You all chatting too much down there. All you have to do is tell people what you want them to know. If you have something you like to divulge to the chat, feel free to hit the link. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It costs me, but it doesn't cost you. You can just give your opinion. Climb in the box. Well, that's my commentary pertaining to these people. I don't think any of these people need children at all. I think it's quite evident they don't need children. They're not responsible for themselves. So if you can't be responsible for yourself, you can't be responsible for another adult or a pet or another individual. That's just how I feel. And if you talk like this in your daily life, you definitely don't need children because there's no way you should be out here talking like this in front of children. Earshot of children, it's all the same. Hello, Marge. Thank you for joining, dear. Very timid audience. No, all these people have like minds. That's one part of the story that is factual. That all these participants that have come forward to speak and talk have like minds.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fair.
Yeah. Well, I watch Dolly Vision. I kind of like that channel, but regardless, I saw that interview or whatever that was with the parents, and it was just I couldn't even believe what I was hearing. I mean, it was just so disgusting, and I can't even believe that he was sitting there saying to Dolly that, he couldn't talk about certain things, but then he was talking,
Hmm.
you know? It was just,
What do
I
you
don't
think?
know.
What do you think he should have access to children?
No. The way he was treating his children there at the time,
Yeah,
he was like, "Oh, I'm on YouTube. Get out of the room, get out of the room."
yeah.
That was just it is too much.
As
Too
if
much.
YouTube was so important that you can't
Yes.
engage with your children. You. I think he already had a channel before because I went over there months ago just to see what he was talking about. But I don't go over there after the initial time I went over there. But my thing is, you're only on here really now because of the boy age Summer Wells
Your
situation.
son.
But
Yeah.
other than that, you really don't have any reason to be up here talking about anything. Now, what you talk about on your channel is your business, but the fact that you are a parent, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yes. I mean, it was just I don't have any words,
There are
you
no words.
know. Yeah.
I mean, his
And
mouth
then
is
when
just out. He doesn't even care. That's what's so sick about it. He doesn't care.
yeah. And the bad thing about it too was when they had the bio mom on there talking to him,
Mhm.
and she was just as bad as he was,
Yeah, yeah. Of course, that lady was
Uh
in her own Dolly vision, like, well, I'm partial to her. I think, well, all the stuff she told us was the truth about Candace. Well, ain't nobody saying that what she told you wasn't the truth about what her relationship was with Candace, but what she's doing right now, that doesn't have anything to do with last year and her relationship with Candace and the kids. What you're doing right now has nothing to do with the case itself and the child missing. That's the point.
yeah, yeah, I know who that gal is. And
Making excuses.
yeah, and that was even disturbing too. I was like, what are you doing? She wouldn't even take a breath. She was talking so much. I was just like, but yeah,
Yeah,
the
just when you probably thought she didn't talk a lot.
oh, Lord have mercy. I was like, does this woman ever stop? And it wasn't even her channel.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you
But
this. Do you believe Boy H witnessed something on the 15th of June?
well, it's just that goes back to Candace coming back to him, coming to his house and saying, "Did you say something to the police or the
Mhm.
cops or what have you?"
Yeah.
And I'm thinking he probably possibly did
Hmm.
because she was, I mean, what is that tie there? Why
Well,
is she
but you
coming
do
to
know that
him?
she gave him alcohol, so she definitely wouldn't want them to know that she gave a child alcohol. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Because to this
But
day, we don't
another,
have proof that he saw anything. So could it be she knew what she gave him? She didn't want him telling that to law officials.
well, I'm sure she didn't want him to tell that. But there's another thing that I've always been disturbed about because it said that he sent her pictures, some not
Of what?
very, I don't know. Don said that that boy H sent Candace some, kind of disturbing pictures,
Oh, so you heard
I
Don
don't
say
know.
this on somebody's network before?
Well, yes, that
Okay,
he that
so let me ask you this: and his wife received them allegedly,
yeah, allegedly she received the
and
pictures.
you still was with her allegedly.
Who, Don?
Just listen to what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say it's true. You still stayed with your wife knowing she would be receiving pictures of a boy child. You had to read the messages that came along with the pictures.
Well, Don doesn't give a rip. I mean, that guy,
But I'm just
look at
saying, it's still his
him.
wife, but it's still his wife. Still his wife.
I know it's still his wife, but I don't think he cares. I don't think either of them care. I think that they're just connected and intertwined, and they have to, cover up all this ruse or whatever the hell's going on. I don't
Well, let
think
me ask
either of
you
them
this:
care about.
Do you believe Boy A sent her nasty photos of himself?
I don't know. I don't know. It's just things like this come up, and I'm just, it's just disturbing. It's disturbing that she was with him. It's disturbing that you let your adolescent child go off with a grown woman. all of it's just a mess to me, you know.
Well, do you
There's
believe something happened between the two at the swimming hole? Because Grandis was there, so this is why I always tell people to think about what they're saying. Because in the end, you don't know what happened because you don't know to believe the people who are talking. When Grandis repeats her version to Ansley recently, she puts herself there at the swimming hole. So you want me to believe this girl was there messing around with a boy in a parking lot? Well, where was her mother? So that means the child was in the water by herself while she's doing what with a boy and her mother is there.
I don't necessarily think they were fooling around there, and I don't even know
Right?
what
But I'm just saying.
because there's an interview saying that Grandis just stayed in the truck or, while they were there, and then Candace has one saying that she helped her mom down the,
So
path
that's what I'm
because she
trying to
can't
say.
walk.
You don't know what to believe because each time they speak, there's something added extra. So that's why I'm
Right.
saying the mother puts herself there. Where would those two go with the child in the water by herself?
Yeah, I don't think they went
The mother
anywhere.
would say, "You're just going to let your daughter go down in the water while you go off in the woods with a little boy or over behind." You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
And I ain't saying that she wouldn't, but I'm just saying that means the child would have not been paid attention to.
Yeah, I think she was not paid attention to all the time. I think that, she left all those kids at home, those boys, all of them probably were a mess with each other, fighting. You know how boys are.
Well, you could do a lot of
So,
damage because the house on fire unattended.
yeah, and I think the youngest little boy, he was too young to be there, with those two older boys, because playing video games and the way kids are now, they don't really watch each other and,
Of
so
course they don't.
it yeah, she didn't care about
That's why I tried
watching
to tell
any of
somebody
those
the other
kids.
day. I believe it was Kinsley. I was telling her about the whoever's downstairs. If you're not paying attention, you're not worrying about somebody going in and out of a door downstairs. Why would you care?
Yeah, especially young boys that are into video games, or we don't know what they had, but they're not going to pay attention if your sister's walking
Well, and the
behind you,
mother's not going to pay attention either. I
Yeah.
don't think she ever paid attention to her children. If she stayed upstairs doing whatever, I don't think if another child was downstairs or other children were downstairs playing, sleep, whatever, I don't think Candy would have been paying any attention to anything that they were doing downstairs.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
think she paid attention anytime.
that's
But
my point.
something that you had a live yesterday, it kind of put a light bulb in my head because you were talking about how Mr. Shell, I guess I'll call it, took that pizza up to her house and he was having so much trouble getting up there,
The other day, yeah, when I went live the other day for the weekend.
Yeah, it's like you said, who in the hell could get up there,
Well,
with their
but I'm
car?
glad he went up there. But I'm glad he went up there because it proves the point
Right,
that even though he went in the dark, it's still the same driveway.
right. Yeah, it's
Nothing
that
has
real.
changed. They didn't pave it. So if he had problems in the dark, somebody would have had just as much trouble during the light.
Yeah, there's no way anybody could have went up there. I know how it is with the tough terrain, you make all that noise trying to get, especially if you have a car.
Mm-hmm.
A
Mm-hmm.
truck's a little different because you got four-wheel drive, but
Yeah.
if you're in like a small little car,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to make a lot of noise. It's going to tear up your car.
You're going to
You're
tell me
not going to
it's
be able to,
broke up. I mean, it's literally broke up. The concrete is broke.
yeah.
And I don't think people
So,
understand going uphill on a broken pavement.
yeah,
That
you
could
need
tear the
four-wheel
front end of
drive.
your car out.
Yeah.
That's
So
why they
that
have
when you
trucks.
Yeah, when you said that, that kind of put a light bulb in my head because I was like, you're right. Because there's no way anybody could have gone up there. So we know that Candace and Dawn and Grandis and whoever, we know that they did something to that
Yeah, they did
girl.
something. Yeah, because nobody went up there in the day, nobody went up there in the night, and I don't see anybody coming either direction to the back of the property or the sides or the front through grass and trails. I don't
Yeah.
believe.
And nobody's gonna sneak through a basement door that they don't know about. Nobody's gonna,
Yeah,
her head was shaved to the nub. Nobody's gonna
and
think
I
that's
don't
a
know
little
that she's down
girl.
there. How do I know she's even down there? Even if
Yeah.
I came to your
So
house and knew on occasion that she played down there, that doesn't mean she's going to be down there the day I came.
exactly. And you know what? To me, it still boils to that timeline because whatever they did between those hours, before they called 911,
Yeah.
something went down. That's when it all went, to me, in my opinion, that's when something went down. From the time that they got to the water hole, to the grandma, to whatever at the store, you know, dropping him off or what have
So let me ask you
that
this: do you believe the child
time
was
period.
alive in the car when they all got in the car from the swimming hole?
I think she was, but I think something happened between that time
The
and
drop
the
off of
time that
eight.
that she
Okay.
states that she got home. So,
So you think maybe what the child passed away,
yeah,
and the
or
mother what shook her, asked her what's going on?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, because you can't
you
shake a
know,
child while you're driving.
well, I mean, her mom was there. You don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that. I we don't know. Like you
And
said,
see,
but
that's the,
I just
and that's the gist of this story. We don't know. We don't know what the hell happened on June 15th. And I find it interesting that the police have yet to tell us anything. But as I've learned with Cal City, they can definitely hold secrets because they
yes,
held
they
the
can.
biggest secret ever, knowing that the children were dead for a year and never told the public, which I thought was, I don't think they should have went that long and not told anybody.
Yeah, that
That's
was
that's
awful
just
long.
that's just too long.
But we do know, like what you have in your Why This Live, the first part about H's dad. Ah just bringing, I don't even know why. I can't even fathom why you would, that your son was in this mess, and then you come up and you bring it in a public forum, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that poor child, he is a child, that poor child has to live with that, that his dad and mom are just, I can't even think of the
Yeah, see,
word,
because my thing is
just,
he's already trouble for because of whatever he was going through even before Summer went missing. So he was getting in trouble, allegedly tried to carjack a woman or whatever. I don't know
yeah,
if the
steal a
truth and
car.
all that, but the point is that means that something was going on with him. He was, getting into mischief. Then he gets a call from this dizzy broad to get picked up. He's bored. He's a kid. He wants to get out of the house. But that was the worst mistake he ever made, was getting in the car with Candace Bly. You already had enough
Yes,
going
it
on.
was.
Then you get in the car with her. Now you got your name all over social media. You got some ex-cop wanting to talk to you. You foolishly talked to this man, and that started more rumors. See, when he went and talked to Chris Madonna, that just made more rumors circulate because
Well,
people
to
started
me,
talking about every little thing he said, every little thing the
yes.
mom said.
Well, see, to me, that's when all this started, because to me, that's where the crux of all this just went downhill. Because
Mm-hmm.
when he started that interview, that to me planted a seed to every one of these other YouTubers to come out and
Yeah,
say, well,
yeah,
what did he do with this? Well, look at her
yeah,
face here. Well, what was
yeah.
she
Right,
texting here?
right,
And then it made
exactly.
it even worse
Mm-hmm.
when he broke his own interview down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. You broke it down because you
So.
got criticism.
Well, yeah, and then he starts
Because
breaking it
you
down.
should never have to break down something that was self-evident. If you did an interview with somebody, why do you need to break down what was said in there?
Yeah, he
I
comes
mean,
out
you
and he's like,
could. I
"Well,
mean, not to be, cynical, but I'm telling you, that was the start of all this mess that you're now seeing play out pertaining to this child.
and I don't
Because,
even know why you would. I don't even know why you would be doing that. If you're an
because look how many
ex-cop,
people look
I
how many
mean,
people
wouldn't you
right
want to
now
be going in?
are witness to a crime or with somebody. You don't see them on social media talking about what happened. Excuse me, when they last was with somebody.
Yeah, I mean, if you were an ex-cop, wouldn't you be out and trying to enjoy your life, getting away from this stuff? I mean, he's coming in and he just made a whole mess of it. And he's still making a mess of it because he keeps talking to all these other people, like H's dad, where
Mm-hmm,
he's being like you always say, the clown car.
mm-hmm,
And what was on Dolly today, I was
yeah.
so disgusted by that. I mean, it was
Mm-hmm.
slurs and everything. That guy is just
Well, I didn't
a
watch it.
mess.
I saw it come up tonight when I was looking at the queue. The interview with him. I didn't watch that. What I was the interview I watched with Dolly was with him and Miss Betty. That's what I watched. I didn't watch the
Oh,
interview
okay.
with
Well,
Andrew. I don't feel the need to watch the interview with Andrew because his mouth is nasty. He's not talking about anything.
yeah. Well, him and H's mom were on there and they were talking, and I mean, she was like, "Oh, somebody send me cash." I'm like, "Who is this woman? Who are these
Why does she
people?"
need money? She works at Walmart.
I mean, I don't know if she works there now, but that's just what BHB said. But
Yeah.
I, why would you be doing that to your child? I mean, maybe he is in duress. Maybe he needs some help. Maybe he is having, problems and stuff. And then here you are on YouTube acting like a fool, begging for money.
Yeah, because she
Oh,
sees everybody else doing it. She sees the people with the channels, with the Cash App, the PayPal, and Patreon accounts, and then she realized, well, she's doing what most all these people jumping out of clown cars doing. Well, they've got channels. They're talking about these people, and they've got the Cash App, they're monetized, blah blah blah. Well, why not I? But the thing is you're doing it basically deliberately because of the kid, because you weren't doing it beforehand. So it does make you look bad. You didn't do it beforehand. It's not like you went and said, I'm gonna make a channel to talk about current events or what my life is like in Kingsport. You understand what I'm saying? You're doing it because
yes.
a man found your kid.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
one thing got another.
and then he's up there, he's like, "Oh yeah, Hunter's my son, but yeah, I like men and women and all that." I was just like, "Oh my
Right.
goodness."
And what
I
does
mean,
that have to do with anything? Nothing.
right. That's your own preference, whatever, but this
It sure
guy
is. It sure
is
is. It's her
actually,
preference.
I mean,
But,
he
but
is
why
the
would anybody want to
father.
hear that? Why would I want to hear about that? Your visit to Tennessee was short. You obviously are not a
Right.
good role model for your children or age. So my thing is, what is the point of him being on social media? What is the point of talking to him on your channel about what exactly? See, this is what people don't understand. What are you getting out of having these people talk? It's just really just gossip, because they're not adding anything of pertinence to the situation. We've already heard 1,000 times she don't like Candace. They don't get along. Blah blah blah. Okay, that's dead. To me, that's dead in the
Yeah,
water. It's old news. It's
it
old news.
is. But I mean, think about it. If you were a truly good parent and your child was in that position, there would be no way in hell you would be up on national, or international YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
being like that. It's just
But
gross.
that's the point I've always made to everybody when these people started coming out. Mr. Wells, speaking to the public about what happened that day, and just general
Right.
stuff, going off about this and that. He told me what he was about when Donald Wells first spoke. He's a game player. They play mind games. They've done this all their lives, spinning the story to Mary about the feds coming in. Like somebody said on Dolly's program when he was talking to Betty, who does this and their child is missing? That's a very valid point, and I want to make sure I make that before I end this live. Your child is missing, and the only thing you and your wife can think to do is play mind games with your sister on a cell phone that the feds came and got him. That's not normal and typical behavior of somebody with a missing child or family member, to be playing mind games on a phone. So that's why they did something to her, because it's very disturbing behavior. To me, it shows guilt. It shows you're childish. It shows you don't care about your children. You don't care about yourself. Whether you like Mary, don't like her, or the other genie lady, whatever, to do that shows you never cared for yourself or your children. So why would I think you would not be the same person that would harm your damn children?
Well, I know. And I just can't believe that all these people, like they said on that show today, every one of these people are just riffraff, and
Riff-raff. Exactly. Perfect word.
they've all been in trouble, and they're all just vile, like you said. That just
They are. And that's the thing that people need to understand. That's why you have all these monkeys jumping out of the zoo. It's because the parents are street people. The people they
yes.
hung with are street people. You're sitting here listening to some man talk about putting his mouth on another man's private parts.
Ugh.
What the hell does that have to do with the child missing? What does that have to do with your child who's troubled? Nothing. Just you talking to be talking. And I was sitting there thinking while he was talking, and the fact that he has a channel with mods, I thought to myself, what same person would mod a channel with a person that talks like that?
I
You
have
have to
no
be of the
clue.
same caliber. You have to be cut from the same cloth.
Well, not only that, but some of these people that follow, some of these creators, I'm just baffled. I'm just totally baffled. It's insane, and I feel bad that that's the way that the world is now. It's just sad.
But that's what we have out here. I've learned personally just from being an adult, you can genuinely meet people, try to be nice to people, exchange telephone numbers, blah, 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 hang with them, meet up with them. But somewhere down the
Mhm.
line, be it that day or thereafter, you will see signs that they're not on your level. And that you can choose to engage or not engage. But
Mhm.
you have to know that the more you engage, you're risking being in something. And I've learned that recently, that it doesn't matter how nice you are to people. The more you're in their peripheral, the more you talk to them, the more they fill your head with junk, the more they spew crazy nonsense. And what you don't understand is even if you're ignoring them, you're still putting that shit in your head, and you don't need it in your head. You don't even need to be listening to it. I hate
Yeah.
trying to be mean to certain people, but there's just certain people, I could say of late, that you can't be nice to them. You can't do anything for them. You can't be a friend to them. You can't do anything because they're so effing wounded that they bring drama around. I'm talking about unnecessary drama. Like, you may not even see them but once a week or talk to them once a week. And in the moment that you deal with them, you don't even have to be physically in their presence. They're repeating something crazy. You understand what I'm saying? It's like always something. It's like, damn, when do you have a good day? Can you call me? You know what I'm saying? With some good news.
Yeah.
I
I
hate being around people like that. That every time you go around them, it's always something. That's what this shit is right here. It's the same thing. It's always
Mhm.
something with these kind of people. I hate street people. I hate to say it, I
Mhm.
do, because they're problems. They bring you
Yeah,
problems.
I
They'll put you in problems. And I don't like drama.
I agree, and like you said, people like that, they physically drain you. They
Exactly.
physically drain you
And,
because they
and
take everything from you and
out
they
of you,
drain
yes.
it.
And that's how I felt this entire weekend, because I hadn't been feeling my best this past weekend and today, and just dealing with something that personal, just as I call it, Game of Thrones. Just, it's like,
Yeah.
Jesus, when you get out of bed, as soon as your feet hit the floor, you got something going on. Why are you trying to involve other people who don't got nothing to do with it? I let somebody know that this weekend. Man, give it a rest. Give it a rest.
Yes.
Don't call on people to invite them into trouble when they were somewhere minding their business. But there's people who live like this. They attract drama. They go around people that's dramatic. Then they go out here and meet new people who don't know nothing about nothing. And then they suck them in with their he said, she said, Pookie said. And there you are now listening to a bunch of junk that don't even concern you. Doesn't
Yes,
concern you.
I have a
I
stepdaughter
don't have
that
time for that stuff.
yeah, I have a stepdaughter that everything that she does, it's just she wants to, mix everything up, just constant, and she drains me,
Well, I
and
wouldn't
I
listen. I'm
have
telling you, the best advice Queen going to give you, I'm going to tell you this. So you don't end up, because I don't know if you're near my age or not. I want to tell this to anybody younger than 51. If you're in your 20s and 30s and you're listening to this live, cut your losses. If you are
yes.
one of these people I'm talking about, grow up, because
Mhm.
it becomes old to be 30, then 40, then 50. Your company
Mhm.
is always got something going on. It's always something, something, something. I hate having problems. And sometimes people tell you, well, just don't say nothing to nobody and you won't have no issues. But then at that point, it's like you're telling me to be a rug then, to just put up with anything as not to rock the boat, to be a troublemaker. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if I'm seeing something
Yes,
that's
I
going
do.
on wrong, or there's something bothering me, I shouldn't say anything as not to, stir up anything. But I feel like there comes a point in life when you have to put your foot down and tell people, like, hey, I'm not going to tolerate this. I don't want to be a party to this, or I don't want this around me. You do have a right to your piece of your livelihood. You can't tell me not to be at peace with myself.
I agree with that because I always say if somebody's around me that's like that I know that's going to drain me, I always say I'm going to take myself out of the equation. Does that make sense?
But
You know,
you have to, and what's worse is if you like have feelings for somebody and you're
mhm.
trying to reach this person, but you see that they're in turmoil, they're tainted in their head, and it seems like every little bit of time that you deal with them, it's always something you have to tell yourself, you know what, I'm just gonna have to leave this person alone because they just
Yep,
they're sucking me dry. Then they're going over here dealing with these other people that's got stuff going on, and then now they're immersing you in it when you didn't have anything to do with it.
I
And
agree. I
it's not fair to
agree. Yeah.
people. I mean, it's not fair to people. You have to be very careful the
Well,
company that you keep.
that's true. And those type of people are also toxic. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
know they're toxic,
it's just they're toxic and they just drain you and you have to take yourself out of that situation, you know,
but see, some
for
people
your
like
own
all that drama.
sanity.
Some people like
Not
all that
me.
drama. I told somebody this weekend. You know, it's just like
Yeah.
I was like, you like this type of stuff. You like it. You have to like it. You're sitting
Mhm.
there up under the people bickering and arguing. Well, what are you calling me to tell me for? You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'm somewhere
Yes, you
minding
don't
my
yeah.
business. You're spoiling my night to call and tell me, you know, you're tired of being where you're at. You're acting like you want somebody to come get you or pick you up. Okay. But then you start playing, mind games and phone tag. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm 48 and I absolutely agree with you. The older I get, the more I don't want to deal with that crap, you know?
Yeah. Well,
You just
at 50 years old, nobody should be around anybody that one acts like these people, talk like these people, always got something
yes.
going on, always involved with the police, always on probation, always violating probation, always got a warrant, always got somebody looking for them. Man, who wants to hear that shit in a conversation every time you talk to somebody? I don't want to hear it. I'll tell you to your face. I ain't trying to hear nothing about you got a warrant, somebody looking for you, because I don't want to hear it.
Yes. And
Well,
that's
why
like
should I?
this case. That's like this case right here. Everybody, if you do a 360 around all these people, everybody in this is like, they've been to jail, out of jail, I
Yeah.
have a warrant, like you
And
said.
it's no big deal. And it's no big deal to them. It's no big deal. That's the sad part. It's no big
Yeah,
deal.
it's just, it's just sad. It's sad that that's the way it is. But, then I think they put themselves in that position, and then they go on national YouTube and it's just gross, you know? I don't know what else to say about it.
Because they obviously
It's
don't have a
sad.
life.
Yeah. And I agree with you. I have to take myself out of this once in a while. You can only watch this for so long. You
I
can
mean,
only
because
watch.
it's every day. That's why I was telling people when I did the live the other day, where I was playing,
Yes.
Naval's true crimes commentary. Just because somebody said something on a live doesn't mean the creator has to go make a live pertaining to somebody else's live, what they said. Because in the end, the stuff that they're talking about is absolute garbage. It's not even pertinent content to just go make a video. And I tried to tell the chat that, stop worrying me about what somebody said on a network. I'm not going to go live
Hmm.
just because somebody had a conversation with somebody on a live.
Exactly. There's, like you said, somebody, one of these creators will make a live and then it just trickles down. Everybody is making a live about that live and then
Yeah,
that
and that's
live is
what
that
happens. And
live.
that's what happens. Somebody talks to somebody, and somebody goes live because somebody got in the chat and said, "Did you hear what such and such said?" And then you foolishly go make a live about a bunch of garbage. In the end, we're 10 months in, the child's nowhere to be found, and everything that's been on YouTube, social media has nothing to do with her.
Exactly.
That's absolutely
And
nothing.
and we still do not have any answers. But
Exactly. Exactly. And it's
but yeah,
sickening.
like you said, it is. And I just wanted to come up here and chat with you about, like you
Well,
said,
thank you.
what H's H's mom and dad were just heinous, and
I feel
that's my
sorry for him. Let me
opinion.
tell you the truth. Let me tell you something. I feel sorry for him because one, he's a child. I feel sorry for
Oh,
her
I
other
do too.
children. I don't know how many other children she has in her possession. If that girl child is still living with her, the older child. But I feel sorry for them because imagine listening to this type of garbage and these people are supposed to be trying to rear you and teach you something to take out into the world so you can be a productive human being. This is the reason why we have jacked up humans and we end up judging them for doing
Hmm.
crazy stuff. Is because this is their start right here. They're living with a bunch of people who don't have any self-respect, any manners, and then they go out into the world and they start acting and mimicking these same people. Then we're talking bad about them because this is all they knew. This is what they
Yes,
were
I
subjected
agree
to.
with that.
So then they go out here and start banging people over the head, stealing pocketbooks, holding people up at the filling station. You see where I'm going? Physically assaulting people,
Yes, it's
sexually
just
assaulting people. This is why.
yeah, it's learned behavior because they're going to learn that and think, oh, this is the way life is, you know? I mean, I heard H's dad, and he has another child. I don't know if you heard her in the background, but she
Mm,
was asking him questions, you know, and he was just like, get out of here, go play, go play. I was like,
mhm.
that is so not, you know,
Because
just
possibly
not
you don't
right.
need to be going live because one, you're not talking about anything. It'd be different if he was talking
Yeah.
about something and being
Well,
disturbed. You're not talking about anything. Hey, Cherie, you're not talking about anything that's of relevance. I don't think your mouth is
right. The
nasty
right
and
thing.
foul. He's to me, he's a street MF. Do you hear what I'm saying to you?
Mm-hmm.
He's nasty as hell.
I agree. Well, the
He's
right thing to
he's
do, it's the
he's one
right
of those
thing to
people
do.
that keep talking and
Yeah.
running that mouth. Because I'm surprised that
Mm-hmm.
any of these people are even alive. Keep running that mouth. All it takes is one person to take something upside your damn head and knock you the hell out.
Well, let me ask you a
They
question
all
real
they
quick.
talk too much. All of them talk too much.
Yeah, let me ask you a quick question before I go.
Go ahead, that's
What do
fine.
you think that he was going down to Tennessee for with all those people?
I don't know.
Do you think that he was actually coming there to live?
I don't know.
Or
I mean, my thing is, all you have is what they've told the public. It sounds suspicious to going and coming right back. All my thing is, even if they were going for felonious reasons, such as with drugs, it still doesn't take
right?
10, 15 people to carry narcotics. You don't have to. I don't know anybody that travels that transfers narcotics taking that many people. I've never
Well,
heard of it.
it could have been a ruse or whatever, but I don't know. I just find that part dicey too. I mean,
Well, it probably is dicey, but that's the thing. Who's going to
yeah.
tell the truth of why they really came? I think somebody may have said, "We got a place for you to stay. Come on
Mm-hmm.
down." Maybe Allie was running her mouth about Candace not having her husband there and said, "Oh, she's got a house. She's got an upstairs, downstairs." And maybe he passed the word and they all came down thinking they all could stay there. And it didn't turn out like that when they got there. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because even if
Yes,
they
and
had a house fall through, let's say they got here and talked with the people about the house, and then they got here and the house didn't go through, you still wouldn't turn back because you had to have money to come. So that leads me to believe that either A, the people that came were cheap, or two, nobody had money. So that would lead me to believe that maybe something was set up and it didn't turn out the way they anticipated when they
yeah.
got here.
That's just bizarre. And then that spins the whole Jose thing, you know? So
Yeah.
it's like a
I know.
tumbling,
So why did he stay? Maybe he didn't want to go back to New York because New York is harder living. The
right.
state of New York, it's a small state, but
Mm-hmm.
still, I don't know exactly where in New York they were living, but it's still harder living than here in East Tennessee. It's cheaper to live. Everybody knows that. That's why people come here. It's cheaper to live. It's not like I tell people don't move here for the nightlife and entertainment. This area is for retirement and rearing
Mm-hmm.
children. Everybody knows that. But
At
I think
least
they
you
got here
um
and things wasn't as they had planned. I kind of think somebody told them to come stay at somebody's house and it didn't work out. That's what I think.
yeah, you're probably right. But
But there's no
I
way
was just
nobody
gonna
was going to house 15 people. Candace could not house 15 people. She couldn't house 10 people. She couldn't house 6 people. That's too many people in one house. Come on now.
Candace can't even house herself. But no, I was gonna say at least you live in a real pretty state there. Where I
Well,
live,
it's beautiful here.
it's pretty cheap here, but it's nobody wants to come
Well,
here.
what state? What state is that?
I live in Kansas.
Oh, you're in Kansas. Okay, flatland.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
yeah.
flatland.
Yeah, it's cheap, but nobody wants to come here. But
Yeah, but see, that's
anyway,
that's the whole point. Is that you know that's why people migrate here for the
mhm.
weather because it's cheaper living. Some people have family here. Maybe they get a job. People come to different places for various reasons. And then too, a lot of people do come here to traffic drugs, but that's anywhere. You can traffic drugs anywhere if you got the drugs. I mean, come
Oh
on, you
yeah.
understand what I'm saying? So you can traffic
Oh
drugs
yeah.
anywhere. But I just think I'm not saying that they didn't come here to traffic drugs. I don't know. I don't want to put out salacious rumor on some people I don't know anything about, and at this point don't really give a damn about. But
No,
I
that's for
know
sure.
how it is when people say, "Hey, I know somebody that's got a place. They'll put you up. They'll do this." But then when you get here, it's a whole different ball game. Maybe that's what happened. They got here, and the plans they had didn't turn out the way they had anticipated, or maybe they weren't truthful in whoever they spoke with about the living situation. I don't know. I do believe it's odd because I can't see a bunch of people packing up their things and then going right back, because what you have to ask yourselves, what did you go back to if you packed up everything? See what I'm saying?
Yes,
If you
it's
packed up
just,
all your
yeah.
personal belongings, then what did you return to?
Yeah, I think he said one time he went back to like his brothers or something. I don't know. It's just all nuts. You know?
Yeah, because my
So
thing is, did I hear something about somebody said something about a couch or something? Was it a U-Haul?
yeah, I think a U-Haul. They drove and then they put part of their furniture or something in a storage locker, one of those storage things. And
Mm-hmm.
then they had to go back and get all, this is all just,
Okay, so where? What?
to
Slow
me
down,
it's all
slow down.
hearsay.
Listen, where was the storage locker there?
I have no clue. This is just what he said out of his mouth.
No,
H's
I'm
dad.
saying though, where was the storage locker? Was it in New York, or did they bring furniture, or they didn't
Oh,
bring furniture?
I guess he said that they brought stuff down, and I think Kinsley or Brittany was talking about this one time, but they brought some stuff down and then they put it in one of those storage lockers there in Tennessee because they thought they were going to get the house, and
Okay,
then it
so
didn't
see, so
pan
that's what
out.
I'm saying.
So
Why would I be bringing stuff, furniture and miscellaneous items to traffic drugs? You understand what I'm saying?
yeah, well, people will do that regardless, I mean,
Yeah, but that's what I'm
but
saying. But see, you don't know these. You don't. Nobody knows these people.
yeah, we don't know for sure. I mean, the
You don't know
way that
anything
guy
about
was
them.
talking, the way he's talking, and the way they've acted and everything, not a lick of them can tell the truth. I'll tell you
Hmm.
that.
Well, see, that's the
You
reason
know,
why I tell
I
people
don't know
you can
them,
go on about what you think, why they came. They're never going to tell you the truth. Well, who is going to
right?
tell
I don't.
you that they came here, brought a bunch of people to traffic drugs? Just think about that.
Yeah, I
People
don't know
never
these
tell
people, but I can tell that they lie, lie, lie.
that. Mhm.
So you don't even have to know them to know that they lie because they're just liars. They're just, Candace,
Well, my thing
Dawn.
is, well, even if the house didn't work out, let's just say there's truth to that. Why not still stay in a motel? Everybody put their money in a pot and stay in a motel.
Well, that's what I was thinking too. I mean, you could stay in a hotel for a couple nights and see
Yeah,
if
you
you
can
could
get two
find
people,
something.
two adults and a child can stay in a bed if you get a bed in a room with double beds. So there's six right
Hmm.
there, and then get a let out couch. That's at least eight
I mean, I know
in
where
one
I
room.
live, and there's plenty of places to rent around here, that you could just go up and probably rent in a day or two, but that's here. I don't know how it is there in Tennessee, but um, yeah, I just thought it
Small
was
fire
bizarre,
said she believed it was a drug transport trip and used her family as an undercover story. I don't know. I really am not going to travel down the highway with you and a bunch of people. It's a difference if I'm in it on the drug trafficking to make money with you. That's
Hmm.
different. But just to go along with you and I don't got nothing in the pot, hell no, I ain't gonna do that.
Well, he said it was like his brother and his brother's wife or something, or girlfriend, I don't
Mhm.
know, and then him and his wife and his kids, and then Jose or whatever, and their kids. But
So a few people,
yeah,
several. I
it's
mean.
just, yeah, God only knows what they were
Well, at
doing.
least
That's
he
all
made
I
it
can.
think that nobody had money because you got to think about Jose's interview and all the things he said living at Candace's.
Mhm.
Him staying at Candace's showed that he didn't have any money. So why would I think those other people had money? That's why I tell you it's more to it as far as possibly nobody really had any money that they came here. Uh, yeah, it's off. It's a bit off because he didn't
Yeah,
have any money.
and then that whole Jose story's off
Because you
too.
gotta have money. You gotta have money to go stay somewhere and put money down on a house. You gotta have money to turn the electric on, the gas on. So you gotta think about all those type of things.
Hmm.
Getting a house, just like just gonna go move in a house. You gotta pay a deposit. You gotta go get the electric on. You gotta get the water on, gas on. You talking about four
Yeah,
things: deposit, lights, water, gas. Okay.
yeah. I
So why
guess he said that his brother had it all set up or something, but
not? Mhm.
you don't know if that's true. This is
Well,
just
that's my point. That's why.
allegedly.
That's
I'm
why I
just
always
saying,
say you
like,
don't know. I'm gonna tell you what I
hmm
think. I think it's just Allie was staying with Candace. She knew the woman didn't have her husband there, and possibly she was going back telling them this. Hey, come down. She's got a house. There's nobody there but just her and her four kids. Blah blah blah. They've got room, the house, and people downstairs. There's not really anything. You see where I'm going?
yeah.
And
I
who's to say that when they
yeah,
got here, they got to talking to Candace, and maybe Candace was like, "Well, I didn't sign up for this many people to stay." So you don't know. And who's, as I keep telling people, who's going to tell the truth? People don't
none
tell
of
you
them
all of
will.
their business. That's what people need to understand about spinning a story. I can tell you parts of a story that might be true, but then there's other parts of the story I'm not going to tell you because I don't want you to know.
Exactly. Yep. And with these people, you're not going to get the truth. I don't even think you'll get half the truth.
Somebody said something about the racists were here in town, blah, blah, blah. 3 days, didn't stick around to get it. Well, see, that makes no sense. You couldn't wait 3 days to get a house, but you came all this way from a whole other state. That makes no sense.
Yeah, that doesn't make too much sense, but
Because you could go anywhere in these neighboring counties and go get a hotel room. We do have a lot of counties with motels. Come on now.
yeah, I've been to Tennessee, Memphis, and through there, and
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
even if you couldn't get a motel in the general area where you're trying to visit people or near the house where you're trying to stay, then you go up the highway somewhere else and find another available motel. Then, too, you do everything online. Those sites
Mm-hmm.
will pop up and show you what's available.
Yeah,
So where you don't even
exactly.
have to drive around looking for a motel.
That's what I'm saying. I think it was some kind of just odd situation that we'll probably never know that either.
Well, how are they living up there in New York now? I wonder. You then went
I
back.
don't know.
How'd you get on your feet? Got a job? How are they living? Do they work? Does this Mr. Andrew even have a job?
I don't
Does the
think
wife
so
does the
because
wife have a job?
I don't. I think I know what she does, but I don't really want to say. He said alluded to it. I think I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat might know what she does, but I don't think he works. I think he stays there and he takes care of his children during the day, if you
Mm-hmm.
call it taking care of,
Yeah,
and
right.
gets on
He's too busy.
YouTube
He's too busy trying to get YouTube famous, baby. Bye.
and singing and smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, he needs to, and that's nasty.
Yeah. Uh,
That's something I
yeah.
do not like. Is smelling cigarette smoke on children
Mm-hmm.
or marijuana. It's nasty.
Yeah. Yeah, that's worse. I don't like that smell, but
Picking up a newborn
yeah.
baby and smelling like a damn blunt or cigarette smoke. It's disgusting. That's what people don't understand is smoke. It doesn't matter if you wash your clothes. Doesn't matter if you wash
Mm-hmm.
the dishes. Doesn't matter if you wash whatever in your house. It's still going to smell like cigarette smoke. That's what a smoker doesn't understand. Your house still
Yeah,
smells like
because
smoke. You smell like smoke. It's in your pores. It's in your hair. It's in everything.
mm-hmm. Yeah, because they're used to that. They're used to that smell, and then when somebody who doesn't smoke, goes up to them, you can smell it,
Yeah.
and or
Yeah.
marijuana too. So,
And it's just
but
and it's just horrible. It is just horrible smelling smoke in on children.
yeah, and their
You
hair,
really, do
like
you
you
really
said, it
want to
gets in
smell?
your
Do you
hair.
really want to smell a newborn baby smell like smoke?
No, I don't want to
It's
think
nasty.
about that.
Yeah, that's gross. Smelling a newborn baby. They're supposed to smell fresh, clean. I don't want to smell
But
5-year-olds smell like smoke.
I don't want to smell anybody smoke.
That's my point. Yeah, because
Well,
that smoke lingers. Everybody knows that.
yeah,
If you ever been at
like you
home
said
with a
though.
person that smokes, that stuff is in the walls. Tar literally is running down. I've been in places where the walls were like running down with tar,
Yeah, my
brown
parents
tar
smoked
coming
when I
down.
was growing up, so I grew up with the smokers. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I mean
yeah,
that's
like you said, living in New York is a lot. It's very expensive.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know how it is in the upper part of New York, but if you live
yeah,
close to the city,
yeah, yeah,
you gotta be wealthy to live
yeah,
like in Manhattan,
yeah,
and even the burbs like Bronx and all that. So,
yeah. I wouldn't want to be up there because now they're talking about an uptick of crime in the city and
mm-hmm.
subways, and with the events that happened last week. It's sad. And at one
It
point,
is sad.
I thought the city had gotten safe a few years back, but obviously things have changed. I mean, it's just
Yeah, that's a bad situation that happened up there, with that guy. I forgot
yeah.
his name, but
Frank
um
Frank R. James.
yeah, that was really, really sad, as any of those type of situations are. But yeah, I'm just I stayed at a small town,
Hmm.
uh,
Where everybody
you kind
knows
of know
where everybody
everybody.
knows your name.
Yeah, I
Oh
grew up in the
God.
same school from first grade to eighth grade, you know. So,
Oh wow. Oh Lord. Yeah. Where everybody knows your business.
oh yes, but
Oh my God. We got
it's
two
kind of
boxes of
safe.
Fruit Loops in the buggy.
Yeah.
That type of small
But
town.
hey, yeah, but hey, at least it's not in that big old city where you get, you got to worry about things, and
Yeah, yeah, but crime happens anywhere because that's the
that's
mentality that
true.
things don't happen in small towns. The mind is a very fragile organ, so if a person decides that he or she wants to wreak havoc, it's not going to matter about the location.
That's true. Like you
Everybody has
said,
everybody has secrets. The reason why the cities are crazy is because you have more people per capita that
Mhm.
are crazy or sick. See, it's no different than a
Yeah,
small town. The only difference with a small town is you have a smaller demographic of people. But as the people start to flood the town, things will start to happen. You understand what I'm saying?
mhm. Well, when
So
you
that's
talked
all.
about on that live where, the guy came into the girl's car, the safety
Mm-hmm.
of locking
Mm-hmm.
your car door and having your key out
Mm-hmm.
and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. It doesn't matter where you are, small
Yeah,
town, big
it's called
town.
opportunity. It's an opportunity. He saw the opportunity. 9 times out of 10, he had been watching her, and he knew she'd be there. She was there that morning, and he did what he did because he wanted to.
Ah, that was so sad. I mean, that was just I feel for that family.
Yeah, you don't know people. That's why I tell people you have to be very careful about smiling at people. Just like I grew up in a city, we knew not to give people eye contact because there are a lot of ill people that live in major cities. It's just a common thing. So you have to be careful riding the train or the bus, giving eye contact. You can't smile at people because you don't know people. Here, this is the South. We smile, we talk, light conversation with people, winded
Mhm.
conversations. You have to be very careful about doing that in major cities. And I'm not saying that people aren't friendly in major cities. Of course, you have some people that will speak and talk, but you have to be careful because that could be an invitation to somebody who's not stable that you want company. You get what I'm saying? You might smile at somebody on the
Yes.
train, and then when you get off at your stop, well, now he's getting off at your stop. See where I'm going?
Yeah, yeah.
And he's following you
Well,
because he thinks possibly you were interested because you smiled at him on the train. Well, you might have just been smiling just to, your eyes locked by accident or whatever, and you just gave a grin. It wasn't that you were interested in him.
yeah, like you said, like women out there, it's better to, if you have one of those little purses, like you said, with the crossover bag,
Mm-hmm.
that way somebody
Yeah,
can't come up and
I
grab
buy
you.
different ones all the time so I can have a different color. I don't need to carry a big old purse. I was carrying a nice size purse here the past couple of weeks because I got it real cheap, a really pretty little silver bag, handbag.
Mm.
But I don't really carry a lot of stuff to where I need to have a big purse. I have
Yeah,
a
and
closet right now
especially,
filled with purses.
oh, I do too, but
Filled.
especially if you're traveling like overseas,
Yeah,
it's
no,
just
you
carry
don't
that.
need to carry a bag. Yeah, you don't need to carry a nice purse overseas or out of
Yeah,
town.
you just put that crossover on and yeah,
Yeah,
so
because you're going to be
and use your key
walking,
as a weapon.
moving. Yeah, stop it. You're going to be moving, jumping around, jumping from place to place, plane, train, cars. You don't need a purse to contend with because you want everything accessible right there at your hip, your money, your keys, whatever. You
Hmm.
understand what I'm saying? Your ID. You don't need a lot of stuff when
Yes.
you're traveling. And I don't recommend it where you live. If you're going out for the day, you need to run errands. You really don't need a big old handbag to go to the grocery store, to the gym, and go pick up your kid, then go over here. That's just extra weight that you don't even need. But a lot of women like their purses. They want to carry the purse. It's got everything in there except for the kitchen sink. I don't carry all that stuff. I just carry the phone, the wallet, my money, ID. That's it. There's,
Yeah.
there's nothing in there but just identification, my keys, and my phone in the crossover bag. I don't need a lot of stuff because I'm not going far to where I need to have a lot of stuff. And then two, they tell you you don't need to be carrying a lot of personal things with your identification on it anyway. You walk around with a big old purse the size of a suitcase, and in there you've got all your damn bills that you owe, the insurance company, your medical bills, and all that stuff's got your personal information, your address. You have to think about stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like you were talking about, because you don't know who's out there, and somebody come along and grab you and shove you in your car and stuff like that. Mm-mm. You got
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
careful,
yeah. Because the
especially
first thing a
women
woman's going to
and
do,
older
first thing a
gals.
woman's going to do is she's being accosted and she thinks somebody's trying to steal her bag. That's the first thing she's going to grab is her purse, trying to hold on to that purse because all her
Right.
goodies are in there. So you see where I'm going?
Yeah, just let it go. Let them take
Yeah.
it.
I don't think you've heard of too many women being robbed with a crossover bag. I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but usually when you hear of a purse snatching, it's literally a
Hmm.
purse
Yeah,
on her
it
shoulder.
literally is.
It's
And
literally,
like you said, most women want to, your first instinct is to grab your purse. Just
yeah,
let it go. Let
that's
it
right. That's what I'm
go.
saying. So it's dangerous when you put it in the buggy. It's dangerous
Hmm.
when you got it on your shoulder, pushing your things out because your defenses are down when you're loading your stuff in your car or your trunk. Now you're trying to hold on to a bag. Now think about that. You're going back and forth to the buggy, unloading, trying to put stuff in, and try to hold on to a big old pocketbook. Why? You don't need that pocketbook.
This is kind of off the topic, but it reminds me of the purse situation because one time I was at Walmart and a gentleman came up and he said, "You know what?" Because I had a big old purse in the
Mm-hmm.
car, the buggy,
Mm-hmm.
where you put it in the front,
Yeah, I
top.
understand. Yeah,
And he come over and he goes, "Look at this." And he took where they have the baby strap
yeah.
where you put. He told me and he showed me. He's like, "Here." He's like, "Hook the baby strap to your purse in case
Yeah,
somebody comes and tries to
that's
take
what
it."
they do. That's what they expect you to do now. Strap your purse in to like when you strap
Uh-huh.
the kid in. Yeah, with the snaps. Yeah, and it's a good idea.
Yeah, he told me
But
that,
that's
and I
why
was
you
like,
can't turn your
"Hey,
back on your purse because I've done it a few times in the store. Walked over a
I
few
have
feet
to."
or something and left the purse in the buggy. But that's all it
Mhm.
takes is for somebody swift enough to just pick it up and walk out or run. You're assuming that if it's a big store, they're not going to take it, but they do take it. They're just hoping that the camera didn't catch them do it.
Yeah, you better believe they're gonna take it. You know, you can't trust anybody. That's all I can say. Like you always say, you
Mhm.
cannot trust anybody hardly.
You can.
No.
And that's my message. Send to people. Whether you're a man or you're a woman, you have to be very careful. The company you keep, you have to be careful bringing people back to your home. You have to be careful what you post on social media about your home, your finances, your work, your
Mhm.
job. Talking about other people's personal effects. Because I thought about that when I posted a few little pictures, of the living room and stuff, and I thought I probably shouldn't post that, but I didn't feel bad about it because a lot of people don't, know where I live. So it's just me, you're just looking at a room. You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But still, there's sick people out here and you
Mhm.
can't trust people. You can't trust the people to come in to do work for you. You don't know them. I mean, we've seen the horrible stories of women being accosted by people that came to do work for them, or the lady in Florida that knew the guy, he was a handyman. You see how terrible that ended up, her being in a septic tank. You just don't know people.
Ah,
You don't know when people are
yeah.
going to turn on
That
you.
yeah, you should never. Yeah, especially if you're a woman and single, or you don't ever want to be alone with some worker or somebody, even if you think they're nice. You
Yeah, but
know.
you do, but people do because it's just like right now. If you live in an apartment complex and you're home when the maintenance worker come, where are you going to go? You're going to go leave your apartment to let them stay in the house alone to work in your house? No, you're going to stay in your house.
Mm, no, but I don't know. I'd be by the door.
Okay, but that's not going to do anything if the person wants to do something to you. What is you standing by the door going to do if he walks back towards you at the door? What are you going to do?
Yeah,
You're going to try to go out the
I don't
door.
know.
You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Yeah, I hear what you're
Yes,
saying.
well, I learned a long time ago. I'm sorry I keep talking, but I
No,
learned
that's
a long
okay.
time ago that when I go into a room or somewhere like that, I scan the room and I make sure that I can find any way out of that room that I can.
Yeah, I understand what you're
I
saying.
know that
But
I know that sounds weird, but it works because if you're in some kind of situation and you think that somebody weird or not right, you scan that room and you make sure you have an out, whether be a window or I know that sounds kind of silly, but
yeah, but see, the thing is, you don't think that the person that's in the room with you doesn't know that you're surveying everything. See, that's a predator. A predator knows to watch and get a glimpse or a feeling that you feel off or that something's off.
yeah,
That's usually how a lot of people have been accosted, is that the offender realized that the person realized they were coming there to do something, felonious.
yeah, I don't know what to do in those situations if you were by yourself and living in an apartment like that, but I just want everybody out there to be as careful as they can
Yes,
be,
yes. Yeah, I saw a story in the queue. I posted it to my community board
and
this evening. There's a guy, an African-American male. He's been arrested for assault and robbery of a man. He was on a date site, and he was luring gay men, uh, you know, uh, to date them or whatever, meet with them, and then he
Mhm.
would rob them at their homes. And they've got like quite a few incidents, and I might do a live on that
Yeah,
tomorrow. It's a very interesting story. It's like a 2 week
yeah,
old.
it doesn't matter who you are out there, whether you're a man or a woman, like you said, or whomever.
No, if somebody wants to
Um,
try it, they'll try it. It doesn't matter.
yeah, it doesn't matter. Just
But let me ask
everybody
you
be
this:
safe.
what do you think as far as boy age? Will he be returned to his mother? Because I don't know really the situation of where he is and how long he's going to be in the facility that he's in.
I don't think you will be. I mean, with the way they were talking and stuff,
Yeah.
somebody's gonna hear about that, and I don't think so.
Oh yeah, because I saw that lady who had the channel that it was aired on. She said she called. She already made a call that morning,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
thought, wow, that's why you shouldn't be talking like that on a live. See, but you can't tell a grown person, how to behave, how to think, and some people have
Well,
to learn the hard way. That's how I look at
that's
life.
what.
You just learn the
Yeah,
hard way.
that's why we were talking earlier. That's why you wouldn't have a child in that situation and be going on international, national YouTube and talking about your child and begging for money. It's just weird, you know?
Yeah. Well, my
It
thing is,
doesn't make
it's
sense.
obvious that both parents are similar. They don't care. Sadly enough, these two people met in probably their 20s or whatever, and they're evenly yoked. They're cut from the same cloth. She lives down here, he lives up there. They don't have a relationship with one another, but they're evenly yoked by having a child together. But they have the same mindset. They're not really concerned about their children. They're not concerned about their livelihood. They're not concerned about their image. They're not concerned about
Yeah.
anything. The person that's suffering the most are their own children and the Wells children. The children are the ones who are suffering because they're the ones linked to these people. That's who I feel sorry
Yeah.
for, all the children.
Well, most definitely because, I don't think that even any of the kids should go back to any of those people, you know.
No, I
That's
don't
my
think.
that's my opinion,
Yeah, I
but
don't think
it's
Boy H
just
needs to be in the company of these people. I think it would probably just get worse. He definitely does not need to be around his bio father. That man is nasty as hell. And that boy
yeah.
doesn't need to have any dealings with anybody that's, talking subversive about, sex with different parties and what he,
Mhm.
no, you don't need to be in the company of nobody's child, period.
Well, if you listen to the other part where his ma was talking,
Mm-hmm.
she she wasn't doing very good either. So,
Like
you know,
what?
I she wasn't being, I don't want to say the words, but she was being like him,
Okay, yeah,
saying
the begging
some,
for the money and all that kind of stuff. People were talking about that. Okay.
well, unsavory things about sexual,
Okay. Yeah, I heard him saying some
situations.
really nasty stuff about he was asking her something today. I was listening, yes, whatever it was, about her riding her guy friend. I thought, really, you gonna ask her that?
No, she asked him some very
Okay, well,
unsavory.
I didn't listen to every little thing. I just was getting a quick glimpse off that lady's channel of what she
Yeah,
played. I
that's
didn't listen to
why.
how long the interview was or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. If you hear some other things, you would your hair would stand up.
Mm-hmm.
Just I don't know, but that's just my opinion, I feel sorry for the children. That's all I can say. That's my
Well,
end topic.
but that's the whole thing. Is this is why we have the problems that we have because people don't like to get involved. People don't like meddling in people's business or being a snitch. Telling on people about how their child rearing or rearing their children. But this is why we have a lot of adults that act the way they act. It's because of how their parents raised them. And those little things that these people don't think is a big deal, it is a big deal. When you're doing drugs in front of your kids, drinking, getting turned up, cussing, fussing, you got different people coming in out the house, you're talking about sexual, innuendos and preferences. Your children are earshot all that, and they're sucking up all that information. That's just the bottom line. And maybe you don't think it's offending them, it's harmful to them, but it is because your children really don't need to be hearing anything about sex with same sex, opposite sex, cat, dog, monkeys. That's your
Right.
business to yourself. But you shouldn't be talking like
Yeah.
that in front of your kids. You shouldn't have people coming in your house talking like that. You don't take your children where that type of talk is going on, because that's how children pick up stuff that they weren't even taught by their own damn parents. It's because they were somewhere listening to nasty talk, filthy talk, sexual situations. It's just the way it
Well,
is.
especially if your child is in this national, kind of mess here, and he's somewhere else, and he's kind of involved, perhaps,
Mhm.
and then you're on YouTube sitting here cutting it up, smoking and joking and,
Yeah.
talking about all this dirty stuff,
Yeah.
it's just gross. That's all
Yeah,
I can
well,
say,
it just
gross.
shows me that they don't care about themselves. Because I always tell people that for you to care about me, you have to care about yourself first. So when you show me that you can't even be reciprocal to me, as far as showing human emotion, act decent, have a regard for me, you're telling me you don't have regard for yourself. See, that's what people don't seem to understand about being mistreated badly by others. Those people who act out, they don't like themselves. So why are they going to like you? Or why are they going to like
Yeah, I
their
agree.
kid? How are they going to treat their kid accordingly? How are they going to treat a stranger, their mate, their family accordingly? They don't want to or didn't learn how to. That's why people act the way they act. They haven't been taught anything. So then they go up, they go out in the world and they exact the same type of behavior that was exacted upon them. And now here you are in the company of some rank ass adult that you're babysitting, that you don't have to babysit, you shouldn't babysit or tolerate. See, one thing I don't like a foul mouth man. That is a turn off.
No,
I don't even like a
that's,
loud man. I don't like a man that walks in the room. He's got to scream to let everybody know he just entered the room. He's got to let everybody know he's there. Men like that are walkie-talkies. They'll tell all your
mm-hmm.
business. They'll tell your personal business. And nothing worse than a loud woman is a loud ass man. That's a turnoff.
Yeah,
That is a turnoff to
I,
me. A loud
I
man.
agree. Well,
I'm not
boastful too.
I'm not turned on by any man that talks loud. He always got a story to spin. He's got to tell everybody what he did yesterday. It's like you're talking to a woman. And I did
Yeah,
this and I went here and yeah, my brother plays pro ball and I got this going on and I got 5 cars and 8 pit bulls and all that type of nonsense talk that nobody really is interested in except for somebody gullible and feeble-minded.
yeah,
And that's
yeah,
what
I
they're looking
agree.
for, is a victim. That's what I call it. You're looking for a victim, somebody that'll sit there and just listen, that you go on and on and on about your life and what happened to you yesterday. And you have people who are, that'll empathize. They'll sit there and listen to that BS. And then they'll go pass it on to you. Well, did you hear what happened to him? And this happened. He's sick. He's a diabetic. And his girlfriend left him and she took the kids and he had to go to jail and he got locked up. He ain't pay his child support. Just crazy stuff. And you're just like, man, I want to hear this. I ain't interested.
Yes.
I tell people I want to hear it. I don't care.
Yeah, I
That's why
agree.
a lot of people know not to come around me. They know Angela is not going to listen. Don't tell her nothing because she's not going to hear it. Because I don't have
Yeah,
to. That's what
yeah,
people don't
you don't want
understand.
the nonsense.
Listen, if I didn't send for you, why am I listening to the story?
Exactly.
It's nothing
I
wrong
like
with
it when you say that.
trying to talk to people. You want to be a friend to somebody, but don't carry stuff to me that's unnecessary, that doesn't concern me. And especially when it's about another third party. That's nonsense
Yeah.
that you're immersing yourself in. And now you're bringing that baggage to me like I'm supposed to be interested and I should have empathy for something that's garbage. You understand what I'm saying? So I just feel like
Yes.
right now, the mood I've been in today is I wasn't feeling well today and just some other
Mhm.
personal stuff going on. I'm just like, you know what? I don't want nobody bothering me about nothing. Don't call me. Don't text me talking about crazy stuff. I'm not interested. I'm not going to reciprocate. I'm not even going to respond. I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. I don't care. Go spend that with somebody else. And that's what I told this person. Hey, would this other person be listening to this garbage, putting up with your garbage? Go, you know what I'm saying? Go bother them.
Mhm. That's what
Why
you
are
got
you
to do
bothering me?
sometimes. You got to
Don't
just
bother me.
step away.
Well, hey, and that's the best thing you can do for yourself. Self-preservation
Exactly.
is first.
Yes,
See,
ma'am.
these people like this type of stuff. this being
Yeah.
around street people, being around street people problems, then they go repeat it to you or Pookie or Bubba or Mary Sue, and you stupidly sit there and listen at that garbage. Then then next thing you know, you're immersed in something that you didn't send for, and it's not your problem. It's just the way it is. Thank you, honey. Thank you so much, Small Fries. And it's like, I don't want to hear it.
Well,
I don't have to.
think about how creepy it is, though, from the Summer Wells case. Look at all these creepy people that have come with the YouTube channel. The H's dad, Dawn and Candace. Then you got the JS lady, who I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, I know.
And, it's like,
All
why?
of them,
Like you
Dudley,
always
all
say,
of them,
why?
Jose, all of them. They're sad to me.
Yeah,
They're,
but they have their own channel now. It's like, why?
yeah,
This is
because they
only a
weren't
snippet of time.
because they weren't important before, such as the parents weren't. You understand what I'm saying? The parents
Yeah.
didn't have a life before. These sidekicks didn't have a life before. They decided to use this Summer Wells case as a to give themselves a voice for people to listen at their woe is me troubles and problems. Well, my thing is everybody's got something going on, either by choice or happenstance. So what do I care?
I mean, you're the
I'm not
neighbor, okay? It would be like you're the neighbor of somebody that, child got missing next door to you, and then you come up with a channel and start talking about it, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's odd. It's
Well,
odd.
I don't think it's odd. I think it's just what people are made of. I think a lot of people
Well,
are very lonely creatures. I think a lot of people are self-serving creatures, and this is what people do. They're users and manipulators. That's what I think about a lot of these people that have come forward. They're just manipulators. They took advantage of a situation pertaining to a missing child, and they spun that into their own storyline. That's what has happened.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
exactly what's happened.
And
You see this happen
and
all the time with bad stuff. You see it all
mhm.
the time with people on the news. They'll give you a rendition of what they saw, what they witnessed, and before you know it, you're seeing them more on TV or social media than the story itself. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it is the same thing. But the sad thing about it is, and then I'll let you go because I've taken up your time too much, but um, I just want everybody to, on your channel, and I enjoy you. Thank you so much for letting me come out, but to stay
Anytime.
safe, and we have all prayers for Summer and her
Yeah,
brothers,
I pray.
and
I pray for the truth. That's what I pray for: the truth and the well-being of her brothers.
yeah, and H too, and whatever's going on with that, just
Yeah, I pray
God
for him
help
the
him.
most too, because I don't know what happened that day. I don't know what he saw, didn't see. But as I said, until there's a receipt from law enforcement that he's involved directly, I will never
Right.
implicate a child, because I do believe he was set up to be a witness to see the child that day. Because I do believe Candace needed somebody to see him, which leads me to also believe that this was an orchestrated crime. Candace Bly and possibly Don Wells, and also the grandmother. That's just my personal opinion on the story. I pray for his safety. Boy H, I pray that he fares well in life. I pray that he does something prosperous and productive with himself. And I also pray the same for the boy children, the Wells children. And I pray the truth is
Yes,
revealed about Summer Wells.
I do too. Amen on that, ma'am. But well, you have a good night, and it was nice chatting with you.
Thank you. Anytime. Thank you, honey. All right,
And
everybody. That's
stay safe.
CRP. Okay, you too. Happy belated Easter. That's CRP calling me from Kansas. She's my only victim this evening that wanted to give her commentary, but this commentary is pertaining to the dirty business that has been spewing on YouTube, social media, pertaining to our little girl loss. A lot of hyenas and just a bunch of vile lizards and nasty rats that have come out and who are just self-serving. The show is now about them, and it's not about the child loss. It's not about the Wells children. And these people are sick to me. They're vile, and none of these people need to have children. And I will say that to them directly. The bio donors of Boy H don't need to have access to children. They don't need custody of Boy H or any other children. They don't need to have access to children. They're disgusting and they are vile. And anybody that thinks going to social media to air your dirty, nasty, filthy mouth talk about sex and other, derogatory conversations, it shows me that you don't have any respect for yourself. So that means you wouldn't have respect for your children. You don't have respect for your mates. You don't have respect for your friends and family. You don't even have respect for the viewing audience. We're all entitled to our opinion. We all can get flippant, get crunk, but just every day, your mouth's just nasty every day. You don't know how to talk or hold a conversation where you're talking like you've got some sense. There's something wrong with you. Because like I said, everybody can have different personas in front of the camera, outside of the camera, work, home. But when you're like this all the time, at your house, at your job, that's just who you are. You don't know how to conduct yourself. And as they say, old folks used to say, still say, there's a time and a place for everything. And social media just isn't the place for airing dirty laundry, airing nasty commentary all day, every day. There comes a point when you have to turn that off. Whether you like indulging in it or not, you got to know when to turn it off. And if you are somebody's parent, you should care about your children and the livelihood of your children. You should care about the image you're portraying and the image that will be bestowed upon them, because others will get a hold of your children and they will ransack their brains with he said, she said about their stinking parents. Hey, I heard what your mom said, heard what your dad said, heard what your uncle, your brother said on social media. Do you want to be in in your children's shoes, going to school and having people pick on them, bother them about stuff you did and said on social media? You don't even care. What do you care? Because you're trying to get a couple of bucks from the YouTube arena, which is your business, but you're still doing it off the back of a little girl lost, and it is derogatory. You wasn't thinking about YouTube before you saw the hype pertaining to the child and your own child. So you piggyback off of that. But that's vile. Now, if you were on here talking about what you did today, your garden or something, you're planting flowers, hey, you're working on a new car, you're a mechanic, or, something that's pertinent. You're not talking about anything pertinent. Sexual innuendos and preferences, that's not pertinent information. That's your choice. And you're somebody's bio donor. And you also have custody of children. You got to have respect for your damn kids. But you don't have respect for your kids because you don't have respect for yourself. And that's what I'm seeing with all these people. The whales, the bio donors of Boy H, these other outside people that have come forward crying and moaning about this and that, their health problems. I don't know any of you. I don't know what you got going on. And it's not to throw salt, but I don't know you. And I know that when people talk in front of a microphone, they'll tell you any damn thing. And we know that from watching the news. People get in front of the news and say all type of crazy whack stuff. When a reporter asks them a question about what they saw, what happened, people embellish stuff because they're getting 5 minutes of fame. And it's sad to say that people can't be honest with a microphone in front of them. It's tragic. And this is why the world is tainted, because these children grow up to be the same raggedy people like their parents and their caretakers. And then we judge them. Why you act like this? Why you talk like this? Well, this is what they saw growing up. Nobody cared. So now they're grown. And nobody cares if they're grown and had a jacked up life, because you're expected to act like an adult once you're over the age of 18. That's why the world is the way it is. And then hardships turn people hard, empty, numb. And then these people go out in the world trying to mate and date, and they cast all those demons upon you. Somebody that's just trying to live and make it. We're in desolate times. And I feel sorry for anybody that don't believe in God. I'm telling you the truth, because I know, had I not had any faith in God, I don't know where I would be. Because that's the only thing that keeps me afloat. Seriously, is the belief in God, that he will make a way. And especially doing this YouTube and listening at the things I see and hear in the news and in the community. We have a lot of sick people. We're all tainted, flawed. But there comes a time, like I said, you have to know when to turn that mess off and give it a rest. I thank you all for joining me. If you want to donate to the channel, $BeganG 129 Cash App. All super chats are welcome during my lives. This was a comprehensive commentary pertaining to the dirty business pertaining to little girl lost, the outsiders who somehow made their way into the child's peripheral, and other children, boy children, the access that these people had to the children what the children have seen and experienced by their own parents and outsiders, and also what did Boy H see on June 15th, 2021. Was he a willing participant in a crime against the said child, discardment of the child, or is it just he's distraught that the child is gone, missing, and he was the last one to see her, be around her? Did he notice anything felonious going on with the mother and the child? Has he covered up anything? Did he tell anything to his mother and she's covering it up? What is the truth? Or as I said, is it nothing? Just that the child is distraught. He's sad that he was in the company of this little girl and she is now missing. And perhaps after Candace came to see him 2 days later, he realized that possibly Candace is involved in harming her child or discarding the child. And he feels bad. Because in the end, his mother was friends with her. They all hung around each other. So I can't judge the fact that a 15-year-old was in the company of a 5-year-old. They all knew each other and hung around each other, did things together. It's not like they were strangers. But the point is, what did he see? What did he witness? Was this an ultimate setup so he could be an eyewitness on that day for an orchestrated crime against the said child? And has he now paid the piper for being the go-to guy? Did he start to act out worse because he couldn't live with whatever he saw, didn't see? Or as I said, just knowing that possibly Candace did something to her child. And he knows this. And it bothers him because it doesn't necessarily mean H saw anything, did anything felonious with the child to the child. Could just be he is a child in mourning of another missing child, and he can't live with himself knowing he was last with that child. And with all the ugliness that has spun on social media, YouTube, pertaining to he, his mother, the interview they gave, it made it worse, frankly. Because in the end, had nobody known Boy H and Allie, they never came forward and spoke, there wouldn't be any of these rumors and stories about any of them. You wouldn't be hearing stories months later about his bio dad. You wouldn't be having any of these stories had they just talked to law officials, went on about their merry way, and lived their life. But they chose not to. When they talked and gave that interview, that was the worst of the worst. When the mother decided to go to social media and talk to different creators, that was the worst of the worst. She opened Pandora's box. And now it's even worse, 10 months in, going on live streams with her baby daddy, filthy mouth talk in the company of children, earshot of children, which has nothing to do with the case itself. Just people piggybacking off of a very tragic story of a child missing that they knew of, had contact with. But in the end, Summer Wells is the biggest loser besides the boy children and also the children that are in the company of these people. I feel sorry for all the said children because they're not in good company and they're in the custody of buffoons who don't realize that spewing all this venom and nasty talk on social media will be to their detriment in the long run. Because you see, you won't be able to take back the things that you have done and said on YouTube. And these people don't care anything about you in the chat. The creators don't care anything about you because they'll be nowhere around when the bag falls. They'll just be waiting to make a video about some mishap that has happened in your life that they've gotten wind of. So you people aren't very bright. You're not very bright at all. Prayers for Summer Wells. Prayers for her brothers. Prayers for the other children in the custody of these people. Prayers that the truth is revealed to where the child can be located. Prayers for justice for the said child. Thank you all so much for joining me. God bless all of you. You all have a prosperous week, and I hope you all had a wonderful Easter holiday. This is Everyday Shenanigans.